Hey, this is Notser, and this is the user replay of the week. RapplerSoon is in the Tier 9 US Destroyer, Fletcher. And just like every other US Destroyer game, it's breakneck and entertaining. So, first of all, if you're interested in submitting a replay, please send it to notserreplay@gmail.com. Please have the replay file, in-score screenshots, 1 to 2 sentence summary, and the name of the ship in the title. That really helps out. If you cannot get an amazing game, please share an entertaining moment. All you have to do for that is let me know what time it occurs in the replay. Thank you everyone for sharing your replay. If you weren't chosen this week, maybe you'll get chosen next week. So, on to the game. RapplerSoon sees a couple enemy destroyers in front of his team. He's screening like a good destroyer, and he's going to engage. First, an enemy Kagero, and then another enemy comes way closer, enemy Fubuki, and you want to engage the close target. Easier to hit, it's a bigger threat to you and your team. Pretty obvious. Now, the Kagero loses his propulsion, has to use damage control, so he's susceptible, and of course, his front gun is completely destroyed already. He's also on fire. He's not having a good day. He can't put the fire out. He's probably going to just die to the fire if the guns weren't so accurate. Wow. Pretty much everything made contact, and RapplerSoon is able to take out the enemy Fubuki. So you've got an enemy orc that just took a big citadel from some friendly battleship. When you see a cruiser drop 50%, there could be nothing else than a battleship who is responsible for that. So, one enemy destroyer is taken out. There are 3 left. We know a Kagero is somewhere in front of his friendly force that appears to be sort of at the base and wrapping into the ice area at the southeast side of the map. There is no friendlies down there. For a split second, an enemy destroyer was visible. Have no idea what kind of destroyer it is. We just know that there is a destroyer down there. So, the enemy Kagero never left the area. This is a mistake. 7 kilometers out, RapplerSoon starts to engage him, and the Kagero is trying to engage. Since he's chosen to fire his guns, he has to use smoke in order to break line of sight. He can't run away, and that's exactly what he does. There were 2 friendly cruisers and 2 destroyers that are engaging this enemy, and he gets a nice blind shot into the smoke. Man, I don't know how you do it. I see multiple people just continue firing, and they're getting good accuracy into smoke, and I just sit here twiddling my thumbs going, okay, where is he? I see the little smoke, and that enemy destroyer sent out his torpedo systems, but there's plenty of warning to avoid. Rappler doesn't want to run into the friendly, and yeah, they're going to be fine. They're fine. Looks like that enemy destroyer that was in the southeast side of the map has shown themselves to RapplerSoon's allies. That is interesting. We need to keep an eye on it. There is an aircraft carrier in this game. The aircraft carrier, in my opinion, should honestly keep him spotted, because look at where the enemy destroyer is headed, straight for the aircraft carrier. And he's probably firing his guns since he is still spotted. The aircraft carrier is alone on an island, and it's not good. Now that enemy Kagero has basically remained stationary, but you notice, yeah, RapplerSoon fire ahead of his position. The enemy lurches forward as if he's desynced. Since RapplerSoon is providing the necessary lead, I'm going to assume it's just in the replay file. And this guy's propulsion's knocked out. I assume he can't fix it. His guns are being destroyed left and right. I'm right there with you, man. It really sucks whenever you lose that amount of firepower, no matter what class of destroyer you are. They are always useful. He loses another one. I think he's lost every single turret he has. And look at who we have here. Enemy Ranger is playing way too close to the battle. Why would you be right there? You know these destroyers are there. They've been in the center of the map pretty much the whole game. You can't set up shop there and expect that they're not going to push forward, especially when a majority of your team is in the southeast side of the map. You just don't have the coverage to protect yourself. And RapplerSoon takes out the enemy destroyer. And he did a pretty good job of landing his shots. Only a couple were missing. Whenever a target is maneuvering like left, right, a lot of players have a tendency of using a pattern whenever they're maneuvering. So just predict the pattern. That's what I generally try and do. Now, if you're trying to avoid taking damage, be unpredictable. That is worth a lot more than having the perfect angling, in my opinion. So, RapplerSoon sends out torpedoes against the Iowa. The Iowa is moving towards the island that this Ranger is using as coverage. I think the Ranger is backing up, and now he is not detected anymore. Rappler is sitting in his smoke. He probably felt like there was a little too much of a risk to taking fire. He has his AA on, probably set the aircraft as his primary AA, but his torpedoes are going to miss. He does a blind shot on the Iowa. He's not getting any intel. There is an issue whenever both destroyers are hiding at the same time. You kind of want to get desynced a little bit, so one is spotting, the other one is firing, vice versa. There's an enemy battleship right behind him, and yeah, you can just see, obviously the ship is moving because Rappler sees him moving forward, but in the replay, it's just lurching forward. And he sets him on fire, puts out the fire, he swaps to AP. It's a good choice. However, the Iowa is not going to allow him to have a good choice for that long, and he's angled away, AP ineffective. He's going to transition to the Ibuki, who is showing more of his side, and you really need to use a, oh crap, okay, let's be careful. There's enemy torpedoes, Rappler, please, oh god, Rappler, you just want to cut it close, don't you? He's able to avoid it. The enemy aircraft carrier is still sending his dive bombers and his torpedo bombers to try and take out these destroyers. His friendly behind him taking a huge amount of damage. He's not in the smoke. Rappler sends one set of torpedoes, widespread, and he's going to send another set against the Ibuki. And Rappler is now detected. He's moved out of the safety of the smoke, and he can expect incoming rounds, so one gun taken out. Why am I not surprised? But his torpedoes are on target. The Ibuki didn't change his angling at all, and the Ibuki is taken out. Can't play like that, Ibuki. You must expect that torpedoes will be in the water pretty much any time a destroyer is that close. So he sets fire to the Ranger, but I believe the Ranger is going to put it out. He does have a division mate in range, ready to fire, and I believe he is actually firing on the Iowa. Yes, look, the Iowa is destroyed. Good job. Free shots on the enemy aircraft carrier. Oh, he takes a 3K from the dead Iowa. He's down to 6K life, and he lost another turret. Now, only front turrets are pretty much available. He does have one back one, a token back turret, just there to remind you, you know what, you gotta show your full broadside in order to effectively use these guns. Thought you ought to know that. The enemy North Carolina, for whatever reason, felt like it was a good time to leave the safety of the southeast side and come out to engage his enemies. Well, he is showing a ton of his side to the friendly Iowa, and he's already at 50% life. Now, Rappler doesn't have his torpedoes. He could send his torpedoes out. However, at the rate that this North Carolina is dying, it might have been in his best interest to hold on to them. And again, he uses widespread. Widespread is pretty ineffective at long range. Now this is borderline, I would say, especially for these particular torpedoes. You kind of want to use narrow spread whenever you're getting into medium to long range, or you're never going to hit the target. And the North Carolina definitely feels the threat of the torpedoes. He's moving away. Either he scouted it with target acquisition and torpedo vigilance, or he got a lucky aircraft overhead. Either way, absolutely none of them are going to make contact with the enemy North Carolina. However, he's on fire. Now, if Rappler could just get the shells to land forward of the ship, maybe he could set a second fire. Enemy dive bombers are unsuccessful in destroying Rappler, and the North Carolina is just as unsuccessful firing its guns. And yes, Mr. North Carolina, you are defeated again by Rappler's good division mate in the Iowa. He's doing a good job supporting the destroyer, as is Rappler supporting his teammate. The enemies are trying to capture the friendly point, and Rappler intends to stop them. Now, there are 2 enemy destroyers, a cruiser, a battleship, and an aircraft carrier, and honestly, that aircraft carrier should have been dead long ago. He was visible for far too long. You have to punish these aircraft carriers that feel like they want to get just a little bit closer to the battlefield for that faster rearm. Keep them honest. Now, there are smoke. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And fire in this context is a destroyer. You want to be careful. And then there's a Tashkent at low life. Oh, poor Tashkent. Oh, the Fubuki is full life. That is not good. And immediately Rappler switches. That's a curious decision to me. Okay, I guess his friend, maybe in comm, said, hey, I got this, don't worry about it. He takes out the Tashkent. It really helps you when you can rely on a teammate. You don't have to confirm a kill on low health targets. You can just rely on them. And again, this little desync thing. We know he's moving forward though, because Rappler has had no issues whatsoever. Unfortunately, the enemy Fubuki disappears, probably went into the smoke, and Rappler sent his torpedoes forward. I think he sent them towards the North Carolina. One of the issues with replays is they don't really tell you where the player is actually targeting with their torpedo systems. Even their aircraft carrier attacks, they're not visible in a replay. It's really frustrating, by the way. So that enemy Fubuki is detecting Rappler, but he's not doing it anymore because Rappler has held his fire long enough that he can get a little bit closer. The Fubuki has a huge advantage, though, on health, so he's got to be careful. Where are you, Fubuki? We know he's not capturing the base actively. This North Carolina doesn't appear to be in a situation where they're panicking, so he must have support. That's the read, and the Iowa's fine. Okay, cool. The Fubuki tried to take out the Iowa, and if he succeeded, that would change the tide immensely. However, he doesn't succeed. And now the Fubuki is out in the open, unable to hide. He's used his smoke. Rappler's trying to take him down with the 3 remaining guns. And he's doing a little bit of damage. Knocked out propulsion, which he's going to be dead in the water. It looks like he might not have last stand. He sends torpedoes against the enemy North Carolina. Friendly does a significant portion of the Fubuki's life. Rappler is unable to hit with a shot. Oh, that North Carolina did some pretty good damage, considering, but not enough to take out Rappler. Now, his first set, not going to be successful. His second set will definitely work, and he takes out the Fubuki just in time to watch his torpedoes slam into the North Carolina and get a double strike and about 6 medals in half a second. So, RapplerSoon earned Battle Hero. I've never seen that medal awarded. He got Double Strike, Kraken Unleashed, 2 Devastating Strikes, High Caliber, Confederate, 5 kills, 5 torpedo strikes, almost 600,000 credits earned, a just super carry. RapplerSoon earned 2,951 base XP, only 10 higher than his friend in the Iowa, but that 10 really does matter, right, Rappler? I hope you're holding it above your friend, telling him how bad he is. But honestly, complete honest, his crew hard carried that game. Notice his division is in the top 3 slots. RapplerSoon did around 140,000 points of damage. Not bad. And his division was perfect. 1 cruiser, 1 battleship, 1 destroyer. It's really strong when you bring every single class, you can support each other, and you empower each other to great success, as seen in this game. Thank you, RapplerSoon, for sharing this replay with us. I hope everyone enjoyed it. I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.